Hey everybody, it's really good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I hope you had a great summer and that going back to school has been fun. My summer was pretty good, but I gotta tell you, I'm happy to be back here with this session of Family Story Times on Race and Diversity. My name is Sira Williams. I'm here at the Red Bank Public Library. And before I get started, I just want to thank those of you that participated in our family summer read along. If you did, you got this awesome kit that included this beautiful book called Change Sings by Amanda Gorman. It had some fun activities and some discussion questions, and I hope that it got you talking about change and that it inspired you to be the change that you want to see in this world. This is our last kit, and it already has a family's name on it, so you'll just have to wait till next summer to see what book I pick for our next read along. For today, I want to get started by reminding you that talking about race and diversity does not have to happen like only when you watch this program or at the dinner table or in a long conversation with your family. It can happen just in the normal flow of everyday conversations, just like what happens with other subjects and values that you want to instill in your children, like eating right and taking care of yourself, or being brave and how to handle bullies, or how to be kind and respectful to others, or maybe how to practice your faith. These are things where you find opportunities in your day-to-day life to make connections and just have short little conversations. And that's what we want to do when we're talking about issues of race, diversity, equity, and inclusion, so that they stay in the forefront of our mind and we see how they connect to the things that are going on in our day-to-day lives and in the world. And going back to school is a perfect time to start talking about making friends, growing our circle to include different kinds of people, being respectful of others, and reading stories is a great way to start conversations when you're having trouble doing that. And so we're going to read a great start of the school year story called The Day You Begin by Jacqueline Woodson and Rafael Lopez. But before we do that, I want to talk about diversity, because I always try to read books that celebrate diversity, and I want to make sure you know what it means. I'm going to do that by doing a fun little activity that you can do at home, and you're going to want to do it at home, because you know why? It involves candy. And look what I have, a big bowl of M&Ms. They're peanut M&Ms, and I got them because I wanted to show you that these are just like people. They come in all different colors, all different shapes, all different sizes, and people are just like that because people can be different in so many ways. Yes, we can be different colors. Yes, we can be different sizes. We can be different ages. We can come from different cultures. We can be of different religions, of different identities. We can speak different languages. The list just goes on and on of all the ways that people can be different. And sometimes, we can be treated differently because of our differences, and we can experience the world in different ways because of the ways that we're different. But here's the thing. On the inside, we're all the same. There's chocolate and peanuts inside of there. And there's chocolate and peanuts inside of every single one of these. And that's just like people. So people can be the same in a million different ways. And a lot of it is what's on the inside. Don't you know we all have skin and bones? We all have blood coursing through our veins. We all have hearts that beat and brains that think. And so that means we all have thoughts. We all have feelings. We all have hopes and dreams. We all have a spirit and a personality that makes us who we are. And those are the things that connect us. And those are the things where we can find commonalities with each other. And so, does it make sense for me to separate M&Ms into colors to eat them? No. Look, there's a brown one mixed in with these blue ones, and it doesn't matter because, again, they all taste the same. They're all the same inside. So I want to dump these little guys back together and mix them all up, because that's what I hope as people that we will do, that we will come together with people that are different from us on the outside and discover that delicious goodness that's inside of all of us. All right, that's an exercise that you can try at home. Might spark some good conversation, and you'll get to gobble them up just like I'm going to do when I'm done with this program. But now let's read our book, again, The Day You Begin, by Jacqueline Woodson and illustrated by Rafael Lopez. These illustrations are awesome. I want you to keep your eye on them. And I want to remind you that when you're reading a picture book, a lot of times there may be pages with no words on them. But you've got to look at the pictures because they're telling part of the story. So this is on the inside cover, and it shows one of our characters at home in her apartment reading a book. Let's see what happens to her on the first day of school. It says, there will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you. Maybe it'll be your skin, your clothes, or the curl of your hair. There will be times when no one understands the way words curl from your mouth, the beautiful language of the country you left behind. My name is Rigoberto. We just moved here from Venezuela. And because they don't understand, the classroom will fill with laughter until the teacher quiets everyone. Rigoberto from Venezuela? Your teacher says so soft and beautifully that your name and homeland sound like flowers blooming the first bright notes of a song. There will be times when the words don't come. Your own voice, once huge, now smaller, when the teacher asks, "What did you do last summer? Tell the class your story." "We went to France," Shayla says. "These shells come from a beach in Maine." A boy, Jonathan, holds out a jar filled with tiny shells so fragile they look like they'll turn to dust in your own untraveled hands. My whole family went to India, Spain, South Carolina. Each souvenir a small triumph of a journey. Their travels go on and on. And as you stand in front of that room, you can only remember how the heat waved as it lifted off the curb, and your days spent at home caring for your little sister, who made you laugh out loud and hugged you hard at nap time. You can only remember the books you kept on reading long after she had fallen to sleep. And in that room where no one else is quite like you, you'll look down at your own empty hands and wonder, what good is this when other students were flying and sailing and going somewhere? There will be times when the lunch your mother packed for you is too strange or too unfamiliar for others to love as you do. When even your own friend Nadia will wrinkle her nose and say, "What's in there anyway?" And you'll wonder how she doesn't see the rice beneath the meat and kimchi. You'll wonder why she doesn't remember that rice is the most popular food in the world. There will be times when the climbing bars are too high, the run is too fast and far, and the game isn't one that you can ever really play. I don't want him on our team. You can watch. Maybe you can have a turn later. There will be times when the world feels like a place that you're standing all the way outside of. And all that stands beside you is your own brave self, steady as steel and ready, even though you don't yet know what you're ready for. There will be times when you walk into a room and no one there is quite like you, until the day you begin to share your stories. My name is Angelina, and I spent my whole summer with my little sister. You tell the class, your voice stronger than it was a minute ago, reading books and telling stories. And even though we were right on our block, it was like we got to go everywhere. Your name is Angelina. Your name is like my sister's, Rigoberto says. Her name is Angelina too. And all at once, in the room where no one else is quite like you, the world opens itself up a little wider to make some space for you. And this is the day you begin to find the places inside your laughter and your lunches, your books, your travel, and your stories, where every new friend has something a little like you and something else so fabulously not quite like you at all. And the last page doesn't have any words, but I'm pretty sure it's showing us that these kids made some new friends at school. Awesome. Hey, I think this book is really, really special. I hope you liked it because it shows the many ways that we can be different. And a lot of times it makes us feel like we don't fit in. And you kids just had your first day of school. And so I think you can relate to the characters in this book, but I want to tell you something that grown-ups can relate to. First of all, we used to be kids and we went to school too. But even now as grown-ups, there's a lot of times when we go into new situations and new places where we don't know anybody and we can feel like we don't fit in. And so maybe it's the color of your skin or the texture of your hair, like Angelina, that makes you feel like you stand out. Maybe it's because you speak a different language or you come from a different place and you have an accent and you have a different name like Rigoberto that makes you feel different. Maybe it's because you're of a different culture and you eat different food, or maybe you even wear different kinds of clothes and that makes you feel like you don't belong. Maybe it's because you just like to read at recess instead of run around on the playground. And you think that the other kids think you're weird because of that. There's so many things that can make us feel not normal. But guess what? That's okay. And so I really want you to share your stories, just like Angelina did at the end of the book. Share your stories with each other of times when you felt different or like you don't fit in. It's really important that you do that because even though you're in the same family and you are together all the time, these are things that we don't always talk about because it's uncomfortable. And a lot of times it hurts to feel left out. It really does, because it's only human nature to want to be accepted and to want to fit in and to have friends and to be in on all the action. But this boy says that there will be times when the world feels like a place that you're standing all the way outside of. Have you ever felt that way? The other characters in this book, you can just see in the pictures that they're outside the action. Let me find Angelina feeling alone and not a part of the group because her family didn't go on a exciting vacation. This little girl feels all alone because her lunch is different and the kids don't seem to understand. So we all have times when we felt this way, and I want you to talk about that, because when you do, not only do you understand that we all feel that way sometimes, but then you can also share some ideas of what to do when you're in that situation. A lot of times it takes bravery and courage to stand up and be yourself when you feel like you don't fit in. And did you notice that Angelina's voice got stronger and stronger as she started to share her story? It did. And I can tell you that I relate to Angelina. When I was a little girl a long, long time ago, I was the only brown girl in my class. I was the only brown kid in my class. From kindergarten to first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, blah, 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 all the way almost through high school. I was the only one with brown skin and my curly hair and a different name, Sira. So I definitely know what it feels like to not fit in. But I can tell you, with time and experience, and as you learn and grow, you will get to a place where you are comfortable with who you are, with all those things that make you different, and you'll realize that those are the things that make you special, and that sometimes it's good to stand out from the crowd. And so sharing your stories with each other will help you to understand that and get to that place faster. All right, let's think of some things that you can do together or on your own in relation to this story. You can share your stories with each other. You can think about your own class, your own place of work. Are there people that are new? Are there people that aren't new, that seem like they don't quite fit in, that are always kind of out on the sidelines? Is there something that you can do? Something that you can do to bring them in and make them feel welcome? That's something you can talk about. I have an idea. I'll share it with you. You can just give them a smile and say hi. Just doing that. Just acknowledging somebody and giving them a smile can lift their spirits and make their day. I'm not kidding. You could give them a compliment too. Hey, I like your new school shoes. Oh, I like your new backpack. I like your haircut. I like your shirt. Anything nice that you can say to somebody will go a long, long way to lift them up, and it'll make you feel good too. I promise. I promise. So you can do that. Another thing you can do is make a list of all the things that make you different, and then celebrate it. Celebrate it. That's the thing. We just have to practice looking at people through a lens of diversity and equity and inclusion, and get to a place where we understand that our differences, the things that make us different, don't have to be barriers to coming together. If we celebrate our differences and work together and play together and learn together and grow together, then we can come to a place of understanding and acceptance and inclusion and a place of peace and love. And that is what we need in this world so, so badly. So I think I'm going to share with you some peace and love right now. There it is. I hope that you take some and you pass it on. Try to do that today. Take some and pass it on today. And I will see you next time. All right? Take care, everyone. Here you go. Boom.